news and events COVID-19 on June 17. Note, this is a collaborative video made between Travel for All fanpage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most on June 17 as follows. 1. American news. President Trump signed an executive order on policing, and Democrats and Republicans in Congress are working on police reform plans. Anti-racist protests continue to spread following the death of George Floyd, leading to calls to defund police departments and take down historic statues. The Fulton County District Attorney said there would be an announcement today on possible charges in the killing of Rayshard Brooks. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio said Wednesday that the city is in the process of making a comprehensive discipline report completely transparent and available online. The mayor said the city plans on releasing information for approximately 1,100 pending cases in July. This will include releasing names, charges, hearing dates and resolutions, he said. New Mexico governor condemns vigilantes who might have instigated violence at demonstration. The U.S. worries about the risk of a sharp increase in deaths. As of early morning 17/6, the United States is still the most heavily affected by the COVID-19 epidemic, with the highest number of cases, more than 2.2 million, and deaths, 119,000, in the world. In the past 24 hours alone, the country recorded nearly 20,000 more positive cases of the new strain of coronavirus and 717 deaths. The early reopening of the states, combined with ignorance and failure to comply with individual epidemic measures, forced researchers to raise the forecast for the number of people killed by COVID-19 in the United States. The White House cited a warning model. The United States will suffer a total of 200,000 deaths as of October 1, an increase of 30,000 cases, compared to last week's conjecture of the Institute of Metrology and Health Assessment of Day. Study Washington. This means that the average number of deaths per day in this country because of COVID-19 has been more than 840 since February 6, the time the U.S. recorded the first case of the disease. As the number of new cases of COVID-19 continued to rise, the mayor of Austin, Texas, ordered an extension of the ordinance requiring people at home to suppress until August 15. The state of North Carolina is also considering whether to continue Phase 3 of the state reopening at the end of June. Meanwhile, despite the declining rate of virus infection, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy expressed his desire that his state would restore cautious, gradual socioeconomic activities. According to Reuters news agency, the U.S. government is expected to localize from 14 to 7 types of COVID-19 vaccine continue to be studied, while narrowing the money invested in the development of the vaccine. The notice was issued June 16 by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS. U.S. officials also said they hoped that people would receive a free vaccination against the COVID-19 vaccine once the final vaccine was approved and officially distributed, expected as early as January 2021. U.S. President Donald Trump signed the decree on reforming police operations in the context of a series of weeks of U.S. protests to protest police violence and discrimination. Race, according to Reuters news agency. Accordingly, the reform decree signed by the President of the United States encourages police departments to apply the latest standards for the use of force, avoiding the hiring of policemen with bad backgrounds. The new ordinance also adds social workers to the force that responds to drug-related and homeless law enforcement cases but does not involve violence. In addition, Trump's decree will allow federal funds to be paid to police departments that meet the criteria set out by the law, and the police will be prohibited from conducting suspicion of strangling or strangling conduct outside the school. Law enforcement officers are life-threatening. According to Reuters, the decree also encourages police to use weapons that cause less damage, such as stun guns. 2. Update COVID-19 situation in the world. According to Worldometers, as of early morning 17/6 Asia time, more than 8.2 million people worldwide have been infected with a new strain of coronavirus, with at least 444,442 of them dead. However, the world also witnessed nearly 4.3 million COVID-19 patients, equivalent to more than half of the cases recovering from treatment. In the past 24 hours, up to 9 countries recorded the number of deaths above 100 cases/day. Until the morning of June 17, 3 countries, Brazil, the United States and India, registered a new case of the day above 11,000. In particular, Brazil has detected over 31,600 SARS-CoV-2 viruses in the past day, a record level of this country in the world ever. 3. Chinese news. COVID-19 was very serious in Beijing. The COVID-19 epidemic continues to evolve complicatedly, causing the Chinese capital to dramatically increase the number of new cases of coronavirus infection in the community. Chinese authorities describe the current situation of the COVID-19 epidemic in Beijing as extremely serious, with at least 106 new cases of COVID-19 reported in the community in the past 5 days, including 27 cases on 16/6. The outbreak has been linked to the Zinfati wholesale market in Beijing's Fengtai district, which sells tons of food every day, and more than 200,000 people have been there since May 30. According to CNN, speaking at a press conference on the evening of June 16, Chen Bi, an official in the Beijing government, announced that the city had raised the alert of the epidemic from level 3 to level 2. The highest alert level was level 1. Local authorities require residents to avoid unnecessary movement out of the capital, and anyone arriving or leaving the city must have a COVID-19 test. Beijing is currently blocking more residential areas, with 27 of them classified as medium risk and 1 rated as high risk. People living in these blockaded areas will be provided with adequate food and medicine. Due to complicated developments, the city has directed local high schools to restore online classes while universities postpone plans for returning students. Public entertainment, indoor sports venues were temporarily closed. Libraries, museums, galleries and parks must limit the number of waiters. Companies are also encouraged to work from home. The system of passenger cars and intercity taxis has been temporarily suspended. Other cities in China have warned that a quarantine will be enforced against anyone from the capital after neighboring Hebei province recorded 4 new cases of COVID-19 in the community and province. Sichuan has 1 virus-positive case, all related to the new outbreak in Beijing. 4. Brazilian news. Brazil recorded a record number of infections. Brazil just had a bad day, with a record for COVID-19 cases of the day. In the past 24 hours alone, the country added nearly 35,000 new cases of coronavirus-positive virus, bringing the total number of cases nationwide to 923,189. The Guardian newspaper quoted a statement from Brazil's Ministry of Health as saying, by the end of June 16, the total number of deaths from the epidemic in the country had reached 45,241 people, an increase of 1,282 cases compared to the previous day. The new figures confirm that Brazil is still the second largest outbreak of COVID-19 in the world after the United States, both in terms of infections and deaths. Although the epidemic situation has not shown any positive signs, Brazilian authorities have gradually removed restrictions against COVID-19 and allowed businesses to reopen. President Jair Bolsonaro also threatened to withdraw from the WHO after the organization spoke out against the actions of his administration. 5. Indian news. India has increased a new record, with more than 11,300 cases positive for the new strain of coronavirus in the past 24 hours. India has passed the UK into the 4th position on the list of the most heavily attacked by COVID-19 in the world. To date, the country has nearly 310,000 patients and about 8,900 people have to die. These are record numbers and mark the first time the number of new cases in India has exceeded 10,000. The spread of COVID-19 caused the medical infrastructure in many large Indian cities to begin to overload. Some states have to use carriages as a treatment site to reduce pressure on hospitals. 6. Canadian news. Speaking at a press conference on June 16, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the order to close the border between Canada and the U.S. would continue until July 21. SARS-CoV-2 virus infections in the U.S. have surpassed the 2 million mark, and the number of new infections in some U.S. states continues to rise. Prime Minister Trudeau affirmed the new measure to protect people in both countries in the context of the ongoing war with the COVID-19 pandemic. The border between the United States and Canada has been closed for non-essential travel activities beginning on the night of March 20 and has been extended ever since. On the Government of Canada's website, the number of COVID-19 infections in the country has reached 99,147, including 8,175 deaths. 7. News of Chile. The Chilean government decided to extend the catastrophe by an additional 90 days as the number of infections continues to rise. The country now records nearly 180,000 infections, including 3,362 deaths. The rate of new infections increases daily in May and early June, averaging more than 5,000 cases/day in recent weeks. The situation forced the government to issue an order to blockade the entire capital of Santiago with more than 6 million people. 8. Mexican news. The Mexican Foreign Ministry announced that the United States agreed to extend the order to restrict unnecessary travel across the common border for an additional 30 days to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said travel restrictions were imposed by both countries in mid-March and extended in May. However, due to the complicated situation, the government of both sides decided to extend to non-essential circulation across the common border. The Mexican Foreign Ministry said that up to now, 1,038 citizens have died from COVID-19 in the U.S. Besides, Mexico has recorded 150,264 cases, including 17,580 deaths from COVID-19 in the country. 9. Korean news. With 34 newly discovered cases, the total number of cases in Korea has increased to 12,155. Thus, South Korea, for 3 consecutive days, recorded new cases of less than 40 cases. Of the newly recorded 21 cases of infection in the community, South Korea also recorded 1 more death, bringing the total number of deaths in the country to 278, while an additional 30 patients fully recovered, bringing the total number of cured cases to 10,760, accounting for 88.5%. 10. Iran news. In the Middle East, the Iranian government recorded an increase of 9,065 deaths after confirming more than 100 deaths a day for 3 consecutive days. Over the past 24 hours, an additional 2,563 cases have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in Iran to 192,439 cases since the first cases were detected on February 19. 11. ASEAN bloc news. In the past 24 hours, the ASEAN bloc, Indonesia, the Philippines and Brunei, recorded deaths from the new strain of coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, that causes acute respiratory infections, COVID-19. During the day, only 4 countries reported new cases, including Singapore, the Philippines, and the Philippines. COVID-19 has claimed the lives of a total of 3,548 people in the area, an increase of 39 cases compared to the previous day, while the number of cases increased to 120,698. In addition, the ASEAN region has also witnessed the number of patients successfully treated as 64,950 cases. Singapore remains the ASEAN country with the highest number of cases, but Indonesia is about to surpass the Lion Island in the total number of cases. Overall, the COVID-19 epidemic continues to be complicated in Indonesia and the Philippines. On June 16, Brunei recorded 1 death due to COVID-19, and this is the first death in the country after months, thereby bringing the total number of deaths from COVID-19 in Brunei to 3 cases. In contrast, 7 other countries in the region are well under control of the disease, and socio-economic life has begun to return. Many Asian countries are speeding up the process of reopening and restoring socio-economic activities. 12. The Kingdom news. The World Health Organization, WHO, on June 16, praised the UK's use of a basic steroid to treat COVID-19 patients in serious condition as a scientific breakthrough of nature. Save lives, because this therapy has saved a third of this patient population. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus emphasized, "This is great news and we congratulate the Government of England, the University of Oxford, and many hospitals and patients in the UK who have contributed to the scientific breakthrough. Save this life." Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Knowledge of Coronavirus, Channel and Travel for All Fantas respectfully, and see you in the next video.